What's up, guys? It's Caliber here.
And the Beast.
And I'm here against my will.
No, she is not. She volunteers on the Wednesdays video. But this video is a big ball of controversy. We are here to talk about the person named Jussie or Jesse. I don't really know. Smollett or something like that. I don't know what their name is.
Jussie has a bird. Sorry.
Huh?
Game Grumps joke. Carry on.
Okay. Apparently they were attacked on January 29th of 2019 in Chicago by two white males wearing MAGA hats. They had rope and bleach. They beat him, and I think they beat him. Yeah, shit. You know, fuck it. I meant to say beat them, or they. I don't really know how to. I don't know, but my apologies. I didn't meant to say him. But they had beat Jussie. I'm just going to refer to him as Jussie or Jesse, or we'll just go Jussie because that's the way I see it. Apparently they beat Jussie. Put a rope around their neck, and yeah, I don't know what they did with the bleach though. I don't think anyone went into detail on what they were doing with the bleach. My guesses would be to pour it down their throat or pour it in their eyes or do both or just pour it all over their face. I don't really know. Okay, so here's where this story kind of becomes a little bit of a problem. I know, Beast know, she knows, Chicago is one of the dangerous places in America. Chicago, Illinois. No white person wearing MAGA hats is going to be in the middle of Chicago. I'm not sure what time this took place. Somebody had said that it took place at 2 a.m. I don't really know the exact time, but if it did, that's another thing. Nobody's going to be wearing Make America Great Again hats at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. You had something you wanted to say on that, Beast?
You know, the big scare right now that's kind of going on is this notion that people wearing MAGA hats is this gang affiliation type of deal, which in my personal experience, the only people that wear Make America Great hats again, or Make America Great Again hats, are usually old people, like elderly people that just they wear it just to make show that they're in support of the president. Really, I don't really see any affiliation. I don't really see them going around on their rascals going around and tormenting people. They could. I mean, I'm not gonna try to be age discriminatory and say they could.
The only MAGA hat I've ever seen on a human being was on some crinkly old man at the hospital.
I mean, Grant, we did recently see the whole controversy about the kids at the Life March and them standing there wearing all political hats, which they have the right whatever they want to wear politically in their whole thing. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Personally, I wouldn't let my kid. Especially when that had nothing to do with that. Probably wear something like that in that situation, but neither here or there. Point is, that's just because I wouldn't have my kids in politics anyway.
Yeah, no, keep your kids out of politics.
Right, I do believe that. But I also believe in this situation that at this point in time, Trump's already president, so I always teach my kids, and as well as I tell everybody, it's like, if you're an American citizen, Trump's your president, and to want him to fail is kind of stupid, because if he fails, you fail. So disagree with him all you want to. That's your right. You're supposed to question your government. You're supposed to be on that fence or whatever. But in all honesty, it's like you want him to succeed regardless of which. It's like, I wasn't that big on Obama, nor was I even big on other presidents that we've had, but I didn't want them to fail. I want them to succeed because that means America succeeds. That means we succeed. But neither here or there. Um, point I'm getting at is that's all the hat really means anyway. But they're trying to make it this whole big thing. Right now, they're using it as a race baiting thing. They're trying to put this whole racial connotation to it, and I've seen not only just white people wearing it. I've seen Latino Americans. I've seen African Americans. I've seen tons of people wear this hat. It doesn't have a racial background to it at all, but they try to make it that way. I
don't know. But back to the story at hand. So it turns out that so the police picked up 2 men. The problem is they weren't white. They were Nigerian. I believe they were Nigerian. So essentially where it's kind of shifted towards now is the cops are investigating, Chicago police are investigating, and the FBI is investigating whether he staged the attack or not.
Right, because at this point it's seeming either yes, these are the suspects, which these ones seem the most likable candidates, or the whole thing was staged to generally. In fact, it's gotten to the point where there's jail time even mentioned just because of the allegations. Obstruction of justice, inducing panic, just different charges that can be put on this situation. So, I mean, really, it's kind of becoming a shitstorm.
Yeah, not to mention, I think it was either a week or a couple weeks before that, a suspicious letter got sent to the production company, like where they were doing the filming for the show. And it has some magazine clippings spelling out something, some racial hate or something like that. There was some white stuff which turned out to be crushed up Tylenol, but they actually had to get the FBI involved in that instance, as well as they had to have people with hazmat suits there.
And it just hang on. I'm sorry. People actually do the cutting up freaking clippings for magazines to spell something out that they do on TV?
Yes.
Oh, God, okay.
I don't know too much about the letter story, but it's out there if y'all want to look at it. He's also being investigated for that as well. Because they're thinking he actually sent that to himself at the thing.
Right. Another thing is with the whole allegations of like, I can't see if there was an attack or not. I'm not gonna dive into that. They could have been wearing masks for all I know, wearing hats of that nature to deter who they were. Very, very likely. I mean, his mindset, I mean, with the media and the way it is that's set up, he sees Making America Great hats. They're in masks. He can't see nothing. He's being attacked. What's the first thing he's going to say? Oh, well, it's white people, right? Because that's what it's going to draw him to, because that's what media puts it towards. Now, could that be a possibility? Of course. But to the knowledge, to what I've been reading on there and everything, there hasn't been anything said about masks or anything. So I'm judging by that. I would say that the suspects had viewable faces at that point. So, I mean, I wouldn't say there was any obstruction of vision. So, I don't know. I mean, I hate to call them out and say, hey, you lied. But it just, everything seems to be pointing that way, is that you lied. At least some form of it, you lied. Yeah. The point is, if you really were attacked, why would you give that big of a deterrent and trying to find the person or the people responsible by saying that they were completely on the different, like they're not even the same color? Why would you put that big of a deterrent trying to find people who literally assaulted you. I mean, if they're, like you said, they're turned out to be Nigerian.
I believe so.
If they're Nigerian, then why would, I mean, to say they're white, I mean, that completely goes on the completely different spectrum. I mean, so, I mean, that's a big deterrent.
Well, from what I'm understanding, a lot of people are alleging that he paid the Nigerian guys to stage the attack.
Which is possible.
And if that's the case, I'm going to be honest with you. They are a piece of shit. Creating a racial issue that never even existed. Don't get me wrong, there is a racial issue in this country. But because of the left. And the right. It's because of both of them. But in this current state and time, there was no racial issue that was so controversial. Why make one?
There's always been people who are racist. And there's always been a racial background problem in America, and any country for that matter, just because that's how the world was. That's how the world is. Not saying it's right or not. But what I'm getting at, as normal people from day to day, I honestly, I don't see race. I'm not saying I'm colorblind. Yes, let's go.
This is going to come out very... I don't know how to phrase that, but it's not going to come out... Oh, this is not going to come out politically correct, but, is it the Trump war not on blacks, but on Mexicans? Assuming that there is one, like, I mean, you know what I mean, but, I mean, every time I hear about anything to do with Trump and racism, or, you know, make America great again and racism, it's always towards Mexicans.
Well, it's not even it's not even towards Mexicans per se, it's just towards the illegals.
Right, and that's
yeah, and, I mean, yeah.
No, I get where you're both coming from. The media wants to push it as a racial slur against anybody of Mexican or Latino.
Yeah, but not black.
Right, exactly. But you know, they put him as being a white supremacist anyway. That's what they've always pushed him as. Is there any like?
Wife not white?
Huh?
Isn't his wife not white?
She's white.
Is she?
She's
white.
She's foreign, but she's not.
I don't know. He's a freaking Cheeto. I don't think you can call him something like that.
Right. I mean, he's orange, but I mean, let's put it this way. He hasn't done anything that would be considered racist. Maybe not politically correct. That's his style, but that's just who he is. We've known that to be him ever since he was a young guy. You know, first starting out. You know.
Yeah. No, I get all that. I was just making a point about.
No,
I
totally
wouldn't be a black person.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. I just wanted to kind of stem from that it's like I get that's where this is kind of coming from. That there's this like fake racial war that's been kind of being pushed.
Is it fake news?
Yes, fake news. Hashtag that. Hashtag fake news. But yeah, there's an agenda they got going on over there. I don't know what their whole I don't know the whole thing about it. I really don't get what the concept of trying to make this racial thing happen, because from day to day, I don't normally see anybody being different. Like, I mean, like, yes, obviously I see color. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm colorblind. That's the stupidest thing you could say. But I don't treat anybody different based on that. I do it on your actions. I do it based on, like, you know, you give me a reason to freaking be jumpy around you, I'll be jumpy around you. If you give me a reason to be freaking, like, to kind of be like a little weary of you, I'm going to be weary of you regardless of whatever color you are. It doesn't, that's neither here or there. If you're going to put off an intimidating tone, then that's what's going to happen. It takes a lot for me to be spooked, if that makes sense. So I'm going to treat you just like anybody else. And I think that's how the majority of people are. Now, are there bad people? Yes, there's bad people. There's always going to be bad people that manipulate the meaning of things, and they say horrible, nasty things in the world. But it's like bullying.
Adult bullying.
It's like bullying. Well, I mean, it's like the whole concept of bullying. You can try to get rid of it, but it's an ideology. You're fighting something that you can put all the regulations on there and all that stuff you want to, but it's not going to stop the horrible people from doing it and making it worse. All you're doing is making something out of where it wasn't really something, and then you're putting more of a light onto it. And really, it's.
I'm sorry. Is this entertaining to you? You pulled out the popcorn.
Yeah.
Yes, it is entertaining.
I know. But that just seems to be this is what's going on, where they legitimately like paid somebody to rough them up, to cause like that situation, to kind of push that agenda. That it's like that's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's part of the problem. What's happening in America right now is this fake war that's not really going on, and they have to literally pay people to fake this along. I don't know. It's almost sad.
It's fucked up.
It is really fucked up. But I think that's pretty much it. What do you guys say? Already have a topic for next week. Tune in and we'll actually talk about the voice actor for Dante on Devil May Cry getting shot at 6 times. It's going to be fun. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe to them too. She is TerraStorm, and he is S13_TheBeast. And anyways, guys, this is Caliber and the Storm family signing out.